Alright, this is pt02 and this is part 2 of the Master Grade Strike Gundam with IWSP pack review. And in this part I'm going to go over all of the weapons and accessories. So let's get the simple ones out of the way first. You get a small pilot figure in 1:100 scale of Kira Yamato. And for the standard Strike Gundam weapons, you get a shield, which is red, yellow, and white, or a light gray actually. And you have a gray mount on the back, which has a polycap so it can rotate, and this part goes in and out for attaching to the arm. And you have a handle here that's not on a hinge of any sort. It's actually got pegs where you can peg it in up here, here, or here, and then Strike Gundam will hold onto it like so. I actually don't really use it. I just leave it folded down like that because the shield actually stays in place pretty well by itself. He's got a hole in the back of his elbow, which you'll insert that piece of the shield and then just flip it over. And like I said, it stays in place pretty well. It's not loose at all, so I don't even really use the handle that goes into the hand. You also get a beam rifle, which has got a swiveling, I keep saying swivel, that's not the right word, a handle that rocks back and forth like so. And that's pretty much it. There's supposed to be a clear piece right here, but I left it out because I'll be painting this kit later and that piece will just be really, really hard to get out. Now, unfortunately, this kit was made before Bandai started putting pegs in the model kit's hand so that they can hold on to the weapons better. And this is one of the kits that suffers from that because he really doesn't hold the beam rifle very well. And I don't think it's the shape of his hand, I think it's the shape of the beam rifle that's to blame. Or I guess technically it's both, but it's really hard to get him to hold it in a convincing way, and even when you do, it's pretty loose. So you might want to figure out something, get like some of that sticky tack stuff and put it in his hand. I don't know. I doubt you would want to glue it in his hand, but so yeah, that's the beam rifle. He also has one other standard Strike Gundam accessory in the side skirts. The side skirts open up, and inside you've got the armor schneiders, which are basically just little switchblade knives, and they are just fit right in the hand. Again, there's no pegs to fit in the hand, but because they're so small, he really doesn't have any trouble holding them like he does the beam rifle. And you do get two of them. There's one in each side skirt. So that's about it for the standard Strike Gundam accessories. And no, this kit does not have beam sabers, because Strike Gundam doesn't have beam sabers, unless you were to get the Ale Strike Gundam. And the shoulder armor is acting crazy again. Anyway, so moving on to the IWSP pack and its accompanying accessories. Let's see. First, I guess I'll do the Grand Slam, which is, before this kit came out, you could only get the Grand Slam with the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. The blade is white, although I was kind of hoping that it would be chrome plated, but I guess you could paint it silver, or if you got some of those fancy all-clad lacquer paints, you could always paint it chrome. But either way, it's probably not going to turn out as good as just straight chrome electroplating. Anyway, this sword does actually have some mobility. The blade can flip down this way, and the handle will move down like that, so you can have it in this configuration. Although it just kind of makes more sense to leave it in its original configuration like so. And it is a pretty big sword with a pretty skinny handle. So he holds it pretty well, but it does kind of go back and forth, rotate a little bit in his hand, just because it's got this thin cylindrical handle. But I guess with a two-handed approach, he could hold it pretty well. So he's got that. Moving on, we've got what is called in the manual the combined shield. Kind of harkens back to the Goof Customs Gatling shield. Anyway, to mount this to the arm, you're actually going to have to remove the mount from the standard Strike Gundam shield, and it's on a polycap, so it just pulls off, and then put it onto this one. Now this shield is quite a bit larger, so you may find that you'll want to put the hand into the handle, although, having said that, I don't notice any immediate weight issues, so it might not be necessary. Although you could always just... Actually, it might be easier to put it in the hand first, and then put the mount on the shield, like so. And there you go. The beam boomerang, which I might as well get to next, tends to come off pretty easily. It's really loose. Doesn't take much to knock that off, so you'll want to be careful with that. But moving on to the beam boomerang, it's just a couple pieces here, but it does come with a clear pink beam. Oops, put it in the wrong way. There we go. And it does have a small handle on the side of it, so he can hold it like so. And you want to have him winding up for a throwing pose if you want. And now, moving on to the actual IWSP pack itself. In fact, this is pretty big, so let me move Strike Gundam to the side. This is a very, very large backpack. And as you can see, it's got quite a few weapons on it as well. I'll do articulation on this thing before I actually put it on Strike Gundam. Let's see, the rail guns up here are connected by polycaps, so they can go up this far, and then they can go down level, and they can actually rotate side to side a bit as well. The wings can go up about that far. They can't really go down at all, so you can actually pull off some pretty unique wing configurations with this thing. The smaller wings on the bottom can also pivot up and down. They can actually go up further if you move the large wings out of the way. And the little mounts for the anti-ship swords can also rotate back and forth and up and down a little bit as well. They're on a small ball joint. And just show you the back of it, you got some nice thruster details back here. Oh, I forgot, these little flaps for the engines right here can go in and out slightly as well. So, to connect it to the Strike Gundam is actually pretty simple. As you see, there's a pretty big hole right here in Strike Gundam's back. And all you have to do is line it up. And you'll want to be careful not to knock off Strike Gundam's antenna while you're doing this. And it fits in pretty snugly. And there you go. Although, once you get this on, you will immediately find that it makes Strike Gundam very back heavy. But not so much that he's going to fall down. You may want to position him a little bit differently so he can distribute his weight more efficiently, but I haven't had any problems with the Strike Gundam falling down with the IWSP pack attached. He seems pretty stable, although you're not going to want to bump into him because he will fall over pretty easily. But if you leave him alone, I think he'll probably stay in place pretty well. Now, let me move his arms and move these back to where they're supposed to be. The last accessory is that you get 2 anti-ship swords. These don't have beams on them like the Sword Strike or the Impulse Gundam do. They're just metal, but, well, plastic, but supposed to be metal. You get 2 of them, and they fit in the hand pretty well. Actually, maybe not so well. And the IWSP pack is just dragging him down. Anyway, if you get a nice tight grip on them, he can hold them, but they are a little bit loose. In fact, I think it was soon after this kit came out that I started putting pegs in the hand so that the model kits could hold their weapons. Anyway, both of these slide into these little holders that are right up under Strike Gundam's armpits. They're connected to the IWSP pack. So they just slide right in there. And you wouldn't think that that would hold them, but it actually holds them pretty well. I haven't had any problems with them falling out at all. So, I guess that about does it for part 2. No, it doesn't. I'm forgetting one of the most important, oh crap, I'm almost out of time. Okay, I'll do the display base in part 3. So, make sure to come back for that. We'll do the display base and the inner frame of the kit.